Welcome back. Now it's time to focus on securing the virtual network that we've created. Microsoft Azure offers robust tools that can help you effectively control network traffic and safeguard your Azure resources. One important tool in this regard is the Network Security Group. Let me show you how you can set it up. Network Security Groups, or NSGs, allow you to filter network traffic and enforce security rules. I'm back in the Azure portal now. From the search bar, I'm going to search for Network Security Group. And give it a click. Click on the Create button to create a new network security group. We need to provide the necessary details, starting with our subscription, the resource group. I'm going to stay with my AZ-900 resource group here. And let's give our NSG a name. How about we call it NSG 1, and then we select our desired region. I'm good with the South African region here, so I'm going to click on Review and Create. And after the validation check is passed, I'll click on Create to create our new security group. Next, let's define some inbound and outbound rules. So we're going to select our newly created network security group. And from the left menu here, let's click on Inbound Security Rules. Our goal with this rule that we want to create is to enable remote access to our Windows VM in Azure. And for this to happen, we'll need to create an inbound rule that allows RDP protocol. The RDP protocol allows authorized users to connect and manage their Windows VM remotely. So from here, I'm going to click on Add. Now let's go ahead and configure the rule settings. Starting with the source. Keep in mind that the traffic source can be from any IP address. And since we're not trying to allow access to only one node, we're going to go with any. Next is the source port range. We don't want to restrict the source port when evaluating the rule, so we're going to use asterisk. This is because most of the time, the focus is usually on the destination port and not the source port. So for that reason, we're going to go with asterisk, which means any. Next is destination. The destination refers to the destination IP address or IP address range to which the rule is going to apply. Here we're going to go with any. And for service, the service that we're interested in is the RDP service. So I'm going to go ahead and click on RDP. And we can see that automatically the RDP port number has been imputed for us, and is also letting us know that the RDP service is a TCP service. Next, what we're trying to do here is to allow this rule and not deny it, so we'll stay with allow. Next, we have priority. Priority is the order in which your rules are evaluated and applied. So I'll stay with the default here, which is 100. Just keep in mind that the lower the priority value you assign, the higher the precedence of your rule. And lastly, let's give our inbound rule a name. Here it's been named Allow Any RDP Inbound. So I feel this is intuitive enough, so be sure to give your rules an intuitive name. I'll click on Add. Now, the same way we have created an inbound rule is how we also create an outbound rule. So be sure to follow the same process to create an outbound rule if you have a need for it. A good real-world example of an outbound rule that I can think about is one that allows HTTP traffic from an IP address or any IP address to a destination IP address. Now it's time to apply our network security group to an Azure resource. I have a virtual machine named Server 2, and this virtual machine currently doesn't have an inbound rule applied to it. Back in our Azure portal, let's navigate to Virtual Machines. I'm going to select my Server 2 virtual machine. Click on Networking. And from here, I'll try to find the network interface of this virtual machine. Here is the network interface. So I'll give it a click. Let's click on Network Security Group. And then we're able to choose an appropriate network security group from this drop-down. Here is the network security group we created earlier. So I'll select that and click on Save. Now keep in mind that in order for you to have the network security group show up, you need to make sure that you put it in the same region as your virtual machine. Now that we're through with our setup, let's test and see if we're able to connect to the Server 2 virtual machine through RDP. So I'm going to grab the public IP address of my Server 2 VM, launch remote desktop connection, and type it in here, and click on Connect. And yes, we're able to connect to our Server 2 virtual machine. Defining appropriate security rules for different resource types is essential in maintaining a secure Azure environment. And by carefully configuring security rules, you can control access, prevent unauthorized actions, and protect your resources from potential threats.